everybody? This is your host, Chris Jefferson, back again with another episode of A State of Loud. Today, I have a very special group of guests on the podcast for a very special episode I like to call the Round Table. It's where we bring different people from different backgrounds together or from certain areas just to talk about the four pillars of power that affect our communities and our society, right? And those four pillars are politics, finance, technology, and media. These are the three things that control pretty much how our lives roll in this country. And this is to get a different perspective to see what people's opinions are, what people's needs are, and see if we could talk about solutions to kind of making things just a little bit better place in this place we call home in America, or even this world, right? So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome to the show my brother AJ.
Yes, sir.
AJxBeast. Say what's up to the people.
Hey, what's going on, people, man? Hey, you already know what it is. AJxBeast. Power to the people.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have over here SK the Ghost on the show.
Yo. What's going on? It's your boy SK, a.k.a. Ghost, a.k.a. Now With Shot. Hit me up. All platforms.
Yes, please hit him up on all platforms. We're asking you. And on top of that, we have the one and only, the man speaks for himself, Mr. Foday, Faux Monster himself. He's got to open mouth. Mr. Foday, the Faux Monster himself. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing today?
What's the word? CBTV to the facilitation. It's your boy Foday Karoma. Sir Monster the first. Money to the monster. Power to the people in the vision.
Power to the people in the vision. All right, gentlemen. So I want to welcome you guys all to the show. This is a very special moment, man. I haven't had you guys on the show. You guys do a little background work, but I figured it'd be fitting to start the new year off with talking to the youngsters. One thing that, as controversial as he is, Kanye once said, the people we need to listen to are the young ones because they have all the new ideas. He goes, I may have the leeway of doing it and the know-how of creation, but he goes, I like to listen to people that are younger than me because they have all the ideas. So that's kind of why I want to start this off, because I think the world is in a very interesting place where we're in need of ideas, opinions, and understanding. And I wanted to hear where you guys stand on the four basic pillars of power in our country. With that being said, between politics, finance, technology, and media, you guys need to choose where we start first.
Hey, I say because of the time period right now, we start with technology first, and then we work our way down to the nitty gritty politics.
Okay, so technology.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So technology. You guys see that there's more advancements in technology than ever. Mm-hmm. AI is a big idea in the news.
Sure.
A lot of people are talking about a lot of unknowns when it comes to AI. What's going to happen? Where's it going to lead us? How is it going to affect us in the future? I want to know where are you guys' current opinions on AI? How do you see it, and where do you see it affecting us in the future?
That's a good question, Chris. I don't mind if you don't mind.
SK, start them off, man.
With the AI, I just see potential, opportunity. Like technology is growing, the state of the world is moving. I just say keep up with the times or just die. Evolve or die. That's the quote.
Sheesh, evolve or die. Okay, I understand that. Now, you said it's a lot of opportunity. Where do you see the opportunity, and how would you utilize AI to be more productive?
See, I don't be more productive or just
how would you utilize AI in general if there's a lot of opportunity behind it?
Yeah, I don't know if you know OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, recently opened a store where you can get your own chatbots to whatever needs you may need in your daily life or whatever.
Okay.
It's basically like the future already here, and you could you kind of create your own thing and sell it to other people that pay for the platform.
Okay.
But I see that's an opportunity in itself, to be honest, because there's just so many ideas and things in people's heads that can't wait to get it out there. You know.
Okay, so where do you see it going? Like, I know a big part of AI. Well, before I move on, does anybody else have anything to add about where AI is going? Mr. Foday, how are you feeling about where AI is taking us? Is it something that's going to be a power tool for people moving forward, or is it something that's going to be hurtful to us?
I feel like it's definitely a power tool.
Okay.
Depending on how you use it. Like
Okay.
I know me, for instance, like I use the Snapchat AI, to literally research about my history in Africa.
Okay.
And my people and their cultural background. And it was actually giving me a lot of information. So, these AIs are supercomputers. They're able to dig into these different, outlets for knowledge. And, like, if you keep asking it for more information, it's going to give you more information.
Okay.
I feel like that makes it more easier than just going to Google and just typing for something and you get different kinds of options and you have to click which one or different pages. But if I'm asking it like a conversation, like I'm speaking to somebody, and this could be infinite or endless, it's not like I have to keep waiting and waiting. It's like it's giving me answers right back to back.
Okay.
I think it's the precision about it too.
The precision. Okay.
So much quicker
Tell me
than
more
Google.
about that. When you say it's the precision, and
Perception.
Like if you want a precise answer, like without any of the whatchamacallit, the research or whatnot, ChatGPT will give it to you right away.
really, now is it basically from your experiences? Is it solving equations, or is it how do you when you say it's
From my
giving an answer, what does it
experience,
look like?
Sometimes I don't understand the questions I have in my head myself. So
Okay.
giving it to ChatGPT, it's like a computer, a supercomputer, like you just said. It kind of sums it all up and it just gives me exactly what I'm looking for compared to Google, which is like a plethora of search results that you cannot find in.
Okay, so it's more or less doing the skimming of information through the searches for you.
But also, I do use both of them. So I say one doesn't knock the other off just yet.
Okay, no problem. I understand. Now, AJ, how are you feeling on this? Please elaborate on the
All right, so getting into ChatGPT now, we've all been in areas and situations where I feel that we used, AI to help us out with our assignments, to help us out with certain resumes that we work on.
Okay.
But I actually see AI going in the direction of somewhat similar to the movies, but not similar to the movies, right? Of AI taking over. And I brought this up before of the idea of us already being robots, right? We've lost that human connection to want to actually connect, right? When you're using ChatGPT, you're getting knowledge from a robot that's literally being generated from somebody that's programming this simulation or these programs. And it takes the human aspect away from actually going out, maybe talking to a professor or talking to somebody that can actually help you with that knowledge, right? You're asking robots about where you come from instead of going to the people from that, that land and actually learning like your background, right? Sure. Connecting with people, like actual people instead of you searching up things about an artist, right? Or about an assignment instead of actually talking to somebody that's actually lived that. And it takes away that human interaction that a lot of people need nowadays.
Wow.
And
That's deep.
so I go in and say that I think AI, right? AI is already here. AI already took over in a sense, and we lost that human connection already. It's already done. Like you see people looking down at their phones, right? If you're in the kitchen or in a room with somebody that you love, right? And or you see them on their phone, they're not even really connecting with you. It's like that's already done. So you already technically are the AI that people were so afraid of, and it's gonna be like Terminator and the Matrix and all of this stuff. We're the Terminators. We terminated ourselves.
Please continue.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
So do you more or less? So you look at AI as more or less taking the human experience away of being a human.
Exactly.
Okay. So, I mean, it's two interesting points, right? Because you guys made a point on the efficiency of what you can gather information, and where you stood on was taking away that human interaction of actually going to a face-to-face conversation with someone to give it, and losing the nuance of something they're saying. Which, yes, I think we can agree when you have something face-to-face and someone's giving you advice versus when you're either reading it off a post or just reading it in words, it may have a different effect on you. With that being said, I know a lot of people talk about the, what do they call it? The AI bias, right? Because whether it's ChatGPT or whatever it is being taught how to operate through code that's written by a human being. And as much as AI can develop and evolve based on what it's learning, the initial behaviors are based on whatever the bias of that programmer may have.
Yeah.
Do you guys look at that bias, given the lack of full representation and maybe in the technology world, as a concern when you guys are getting the information back, or how it may have effects down the road in using AI?
When you talk about the bias, what do you mean?
So, if you grow up in two different backgrounds of experience, like someone grew up wealthy, someone didn't grow up wealthy, they grew up in poverty. The experiences and the views of the world are going to be inherently different based on your experiences that you have. If you go in and you're telling a robot or not a robot, a piece of AI, like what's good, what's bad, what works, what doesn't. This is what you believe, this is what you shouldn't believe. Do you think those biases are something that could be a concern when using AI?
Not honestly for me. Thinking, I'd say no, because at the end of the day, you just said it is a robot, and yeah, it's basically what you just. It's a robot.
So so even if we are teaching it, we as humans are teaching it how to operate. Do you feel like we have an impression at all?
We have an impression.
Yes. Like do we? If I'm telling it how to behave or implementing values, do you think like my beliefs have any effect on how the code I write?
I'd say so, because it is your creativity, and what you put your hands on is basically you, right?
Okay.
I say yes, because it's just like, in a sense, if you want to look at AI as like a kid, right? When you're raising a kid, you're teaching that kid how to love, how to feel, how to basically operate in this world that we live in. So if you're a person going into the world of like, oh, this is how I feel about this thing, or this is how I feel about that, and now you got a person searching up, and going, maybe it might be a search going against, what that person that did the code might have felt. Now you're getting results back based upon what that person, whoever programmed that code, is feeling. So yeah, it's really whatever you teach it. So whatever you teach it, if you teaching the AI how to love, right?
Wow.
Based off of how you feel, or the feelings that you had when you were programming that code, or when you were putting it into becoming that AI. So when people search it, it gives them a result. That's how it's gonna be. It's gonna come out of that AI once the person searches. So just like a kid, man.
Yeah, I was gonna add to a topic, but then I thought about it. It didn't really make sense. I was thinking of like the importance of AI being uncensored, like basically telling you the full truth of it. I mean, let me see. There are important aspects and the good parts about it, but there are also bad parts.
Talk to me.
And the bad parts can also outweigh the good ones. Like, for say, the AI could teach you how to make a bomb, and that's not good for anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But the good parts about it is you can also know the full truth of what you're searching, the scope of it, so you don't really get blinded by code or whatever not.
That's an interesting point you make, and both of you make, about how what you teach it can be the effect on how its behavior, and that the desire of keeping it uncensored. Foday, before I move on, do you have anything to add to that?
I mean, on the biasness of AI, of course, like, yeah, I've already experienced some of that. Like, if I have a lot of questions, and it may tell you like, oh, this hasn't been a scientific proven fact, or it may tell you like, oh, aura is not real, da da da. Based on this level of program, so we don't know what type of history or information this AI has. Or,
That's why I would also say it's always good, because I feel like we live in an age where, and this goes into like something that I recorded. Shout out to AJxBeast, but it goes into like not questioning like things that we use and just certain resources that we use, because we don't even look at the people that are actually behind these AIs that we use. Right, we don't look at what their thought processes are when programming these AIs or working on the code for these AIs, and most of the time we'll find out that these people are not even, like, they're also tapped out as well. So if you're getting knowledge and you're searching up things from a person that is not as open or doesn't feel as much, right? Now you're getting the same response back, and now you're just taking that and you're going with that instead of questioning, like, okay.
Can I add on to that?
Yeah, go for it.
Isn't the AI like connected to the web, the internet? So
But a person had to put the internet together as well. The person had to put that AI together.
So you connecting this back to the person who made the internet?
Exactly. It
Not
didn't
even
make
the
itself.
internet is a community base, right? Like, we all have the freedom of posting what our thoughts, our feelings, and information up without having a check. And I think that's what you guys kind of are talking about, right? Like, having it be uncensored, having a full base of information. But I mean, and the word you used was truth.
Truth.
And that's where I always find it interesting, because I think sometimes people can argue there's a difference between facts and truths, because truths come from your experience and your observation, where facts can be something that's maybe included in data, right? So by numbers saying you can say 2 plus 2 is 4. But my truth that's a fact we can all agree on. I mean, even though people may argue it, but yes,
Fact.
2 plus 2 is 4. We can say it numerically from what we've been taught, it's a fact, right?
Yeah.
But if I said to you, how did you feel when I said something? You said, oh yeah, by being in there, I was hurt by what he said. That could be your truth. But I could say, well, I wasn't trying to hurt you and you shouldn't be hurt by this. So my truth is I wasn't hurt, so you shouldn't be hurt. So I feel like we have to be very precise about what it is and we're trying to do. Maybe lean more towards facts and see what true.
There's really no such thing as my truth. Really perception.
Perception. So that's interesting, right?
It's no such thing as my truth. Because then that throws anything. Like say if you're saying, oh, my truth, right? But then I'm over here with actual facts to back up everything that I'm saying, then you're basically saying and disregarding everything that I'm saying as fact and that I have proof of.
And that's necessarily, and that stuff what he's denying may not be true for his experience.
Very true.
Right? From his perception. So that's where I think we kind of get into a thing of how can we teach AI or utilize AI or what tools we can put in place or practices so we don't necessarily have those things affect us.
So I guess that's a.
So I want to. Our time is coming down for that topic, but I want to end it with that note. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
I just wanted to add that's a problem that can potentially have a solution to it, right? You said the AI doesn't have feelings. What if you could program it even with no prior knowledge to coding? What if you could give it your identity or something like that?
I would say the only way that can actually happen is if you sacrifice a part of yourself, because I don't think AI on its own would be able to program like real human emotion unless you take parts of an actual human and give it to the like the AI itself, or really putting the AI inside of a human in a sense.
That's an interesting concept. That's an interesting concept of putting parts of us in there, and we can definitely dive into that more. But I do want to get to another topic. So before we get off of AI, we are all about solutions here. Yeah. What do you guys think? There's some solutions, practices, or thoughts we can put into place that can kind of make sure that AI is something that is helping us and not say some harming.
Know yourself, first of all. You can't go into thinking everything that there is a truth or fact. It might be a fact, but it's not the truth. Like,
okay.
Like he was just saying about aura and whatnot and stuff. There's historical practices that are not known to the world. Like there are many things that's hidden from the world, hidden from the people. So I just say before you dive into anything, Google, the internet, the post, social media, you just have to know what you're. Huh?
Oh no, I was just saying question everything too.
Question everything, yes.
Question everything.
So even so, fact check AI even if you're using it. Don't just accept its first answer as the best answer. Yeah. I think that's key. I think that's a good point to say to everyone is if you are going to use AI for whether it's being more efficient or learning a craft, do a little bit more research. Treat it like the internet. I think that's a good way to be. I think if we lean on that, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah. Don't turn your brain into the internet.
So, yeah. So, with that, guys, the next topic that we want to go on right now, you guys can pick. AJ, you picked the first one?
Yeah.
You picked technology. SK will let you pick the second one.
Media.
We're going to go with media. All right. Media. So, media is one of the major powers of our society. You guys can see by now that between social media, television, streaming, and everything like that, media is inherent when it comes to the influence it has on our society. My question is, with the current state of media that we have, do you guys see it as something that's a good thing, bad thing? Is it helping or harming our society?
I wouldn't say it's the media. I say it's the people.
Okay, please elaborate.
People or the modern people are just what can I say? The attention span has gotten lower over time.
Okay, why do you think that is?
Honestly, I don't know the facts for it, but I do know that's true.
Can I jump in?
Of course.
I say.
Please speak into the microphone.
Yeah, so he said the attention span is getting lower. You got to look at it. Media in itself is targeting, customers, viewers. So it's a reason why your attention span is low. It's supposed to be low. They want you on the app every day. And, this is someone who I just deactivated Instagram. After deactivating, my reasoning for deactivating Instagram and deleting the app because I wanted to know who am I without social media. Even as an artist, or like before the era of social media, everybody was more, well, in my era, we were more present, being able to go outside and have fun and really conversate with friends and stuff, like really live in the moment. But now with this Instagram world, it's like a whole different world filled. It's like, I don't know, it's like a hypnotism in a sense. So it's like, like after deleting, I'm like, let me tap back into myself. Like, who am I for real? What do I want to do, accomplish? Without the perspectives of everyone else, without looking into everybody's life, without seeing all these other videos or whatever. Just, locking back into myself and reconnect with that spiritual connection. You feel me? Even like still having other apps like YouTube, whatever, but I've still seen a big change in like the way how I conversate with people. I want to know more about whatever we're talking about, or even if I have the chance to make a little comment to change something or build a follow-up, I'll do that now. So it's like little instances. So would I say social media is really bad? I say, yeah, definitely is, but like it's all perception. It could be a tool. But even like how people using the tool, you have people that's promoting, marketing other stuff, and you have people that's using social media to tell you to get off social media. You feel me?
So it's like having the casinos fund the program to help you to stop gambling.
True.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I think you made a really good point when you said that it's a hypnotizing almost. Like it becomes a part of your life. It keeps you locked in and can keep you on there. And that's absolutely true. I mean, back when I was younger, the only advertisement we had was commercials, billboards, and newspapers and magazines. And now we have a never-ending amount of entertainment and advertising time on your phone. So they are fighting for your time. I mean, but it is interesting, right? Because social media allows the independent artist to gather an audience in which they may not reach before for free. Just takes their effort and time. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword when it comes to it. Now, AJ, you've been a part of YouTube. You've been making content for quite a while now. Where do you see social media, and not just social media, but media itself, sitting in current day society?
Oh man, I would say social media, like Foday said, can actually be used as a tool if you're a person that understands themselves, right? I think we have a lot of people that are on social media that have not taken the time to actually understand who they are. And I feel that I actually went through this starting off, right? So I started really posting and really being on social media, like, early on. So like 2017, maybe, before that as well. And I remember I was at a point where I wanted to show people how I was living, basically for social media in a sense. So it wasn't really me understanding and knowing me. It was me trying to be like everybody that I was seeing, or everybody that was doing what I wanted to do. So I would say a lot of people nowadays, right, they live through social media because they don't know who they truly are yet.
Wow.
So a lot of people are lost, and they're lost not because of social media itself, but because they don't know who they are.
Oh, that's an interesting perspective. Foday, you look like you understand.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, even operate in this real world.
Yeah.
Some people, they find it uncomfortable to not even touch their phone for a few minutes. You turn around, this person just dribbles up. Some people, that's the first thing they do when they wake up.
Off the wake up, crazy.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy. I'm like, the first thing you wake up, you just go on Instagram to click on stories or something. Like, what does that do to your brain? And if you go even deeper into, history or facts, melanin and blue light, the effect that blue light has on melanin, you feel me? You don't even know that you harming yourself every time you open your phone.
Wow, sounds like someone been.
Come on now, look
it up. So that's an interesting. So that's an interesting. That's an interesting point you make about, like you said, a lot of people can't even go without a certain amount of time without being on their phones and checking their stories, and that is a big thing. I mean, science is showing that the word social media has been included in more than 50% of applicants for divorce in the last couple of years, and it's increasing. I know they used to be saying a TV in the bedroom will harm a relationship, and now it's your cell phone. So, I mean, would you say a lot of people can't do it? What effects has, since we're on the topic of social media, what effects has social media had on you guys individually?
I'll start it off. Me individually with social media, I've been lost for a while, quite a while. At first, I was just doing it to kind of interact with my friends, to be a part of the community, as you could say. But growing up and stuff, I think I've got a hold of that now. Because it's a difference between saying you're locking in and locking in. I just decided just to cut off distractions. It's just that simple. And it might be hard for so many people because I was the person in the other shoes saying I was ready to lock in. I had all the mindset and everything. But it just didn't happen because the distraction was just in my way every single time. And there's just some things you cannot get done with that phone. Put it down. My screen time is on 0 minutes. That's crazy.
Man didn't even look at his phone to tell me he was here.
0 minutes is crazy.
0 minutes. Okay. I mean, I respect that. I think that's real. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a real point to be made of how much of a distraction the media can be. The phones that we have, whether it's Netflix, social media, YouTube, or anything. And not like you said, not that these are bad, but if you have the option between doing work to get what you want and sitting there and enjoying some content, you may choose the latter just because it is easier. So I hear you. Mr. Day, now you recently uninstalled it. So, I mean, how has media affected you and your experience, and what kind of led you to that?
Well, I say for me, how media has, played a role in my experience. So me as a person, I tend to be a very outgoing person and, may go into different places and, I may view myself as someone influential. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm living a rock star life. Why don't I show it to people? But, showing it to people, that in itself becomes, very vague. Am I just showing it to the couple hundred people that's just watching me? Am I trying to increase that audience and really live the life that I want to, portray? So it's really like, I don't know, like it's giving you that quick little dopamine, like, and it's all an algorithm, so they control how many people watch your stuff. So if they just feeding me like, there's a certain amount of people watching my stories or something, I feel like, okay, now I'm obligated to show them each time every day and just post so I keep that same constant number. So like even after deleting it and I found myself in these rooms and stuff that I doing the work, I'm like, now I'm thinking back, this would have been a moment when I would have went on Instagram to show people what I'm doing and stuff instead of actually just continue doing and just focus on what I'm already doing. So like now I'm trying to know the why behind that, or like where does that stem from? Or I guess where that stems from, just to show people how I'm living, But it's how I'm living on social media, how I'm really living in life. You feel me? Or to a level extent that I want to live. I could show you that I'm in the studio, but did I ever release the song? I could probably show you that story like last week, but the song won't come out till like 2 years. You feel me?
Wow. So you're saying that just having that access to your fans with your music and being able to get that instant gratification of acceptance or praise just because you're doing the work would keep you from following all the way through and finishing of actually releasing a song, promoting it, and putting out your art for them to fully appreciate.
In a way, I mean, I could say that, or I can't say that, but, actions speak louder than words.
Very true.
I'm saying, so I'm just taking this break to really, dive back into myself. And then when I go back into social media, I'll be able to use it more as a tool with more knowledge, on marketing, etc., to actually really utilize it to its fullest capabilities.
Beautiful. Now, Mr. AJ, I want you to round that off. Well, actually, no, we've kind of gone through it with everyone. I know. What I would like to hear, though, because it seems all of you have had experiences with social media in different amount, whether you're putting out content as a YouTuber and having an influencer channel, whether you're using it to communicate and interact with people, or whether or not you're using it as a musician and how it affects you completing the task of actually not just making the music and living the lifestyle, but truly going through with the rest of the work. You guys have seen the ups, the value it has, and having the detriment. What do you think is something that you individually or people could put in place to kind of have more of a positive experience with social media?
I say take breaks or put like time limits. But even if you see like the time limits in itself is like a catch too, because if it tells me, oh, I got like an hour left, like a couple minutes left, and then when it runs out, it still gives you time. Or do you want to add a minute or 15 minutes? Next thing you know, you just back and forth. Yeah. Like what really helped me if I turned off notifications for Instagram some time ago.
I would definitely like turning off notifications is a big thing.
Yeah,
really.
Because I noticed a lot of I could attest to it, of course, being in a relationship. But I noticed a lot of women, they would have like the flash on as well. So like, just imagine they getting likes and all of these different notifications from people that they don't even know, and now their phone is going off, the flash is going off, and then now that's not only playing into like, like the notifications going off, but it's also playing into like your mind and just seeing that like after a while you become like it's dopamine, but after a while you become numb to it, and it. And if you're a person that don't know how to, turn it off, it'll really mess you up.
For sure.
So
I agree. If it's not time limit, you got to do it. It's a mindset thing, man. And it's not just a mindset thing either, because trust me, you can have that mindset and not be on that timing. It's a mindset and action time.
Mindset and action. I like that. So putting a limitation, being disciplined enough to keep that limitation, and then don't let it distract you instantaneously. Yeah. I think those are all great tools. I mean, to be honest with you, it doesn't seem difficult to put into place. Turn notifications off. Put yourself a limit when you are on.
Or delete the app.
Or delete the app.
That doesn't work for me.
Also to add, so I think a lot of people would be spiritually further if they had the discipline to actually turn it off. Because when you're tapped in to this world, this false reality, because that's what Instagram is, false reality. True. Right? You got a bunch of people living for Instagram. You got a bunch of people acting like they're doing big things, right? They have nothing to show in real life. And you as a normal person that's trying to build, whether you're an artist, whether you paint, whether you draw, whatever, right? Now you're looking at these people that look like they have it together, and you thinking that you got to live up to how they're living, not even realizing that this is a facade for Instagram or for the media. So I think if most people nowadays tapped out of Instagram, right, and tapped out of this false world that social media is initially, right, they would be spiritually further, and it would actually push the consciousness of the people a lot sooner. I think so
being more present,
just tapping into who you are as a person.
I like
as
that.
a being.
I mean, you can't really tell everybody to be present, because some people just got that mind, that workflow in their head all the time.
You can't tell them, you gotta show them.
That's interesting. Yeah, it is very true. Leading by example is the way of teaching people, right?
That's
so
true.
I think you guys all make a great point, and I appreciate everything you guys said about social media. So we're going to move on to our next topic, gentlemen. So, guys, we went through, we already did finance, we already did technology, we already did media. It's down to politics and finance. Foday, what you feeling?
Revolutionary end of time.
I say let's tackle the hard part first, the politics.
The hard part. That's an interesting thing you say. The hard part.
That's revolutionist himself.
I'm with that.
All right.
So you guys.
Himself.
All right, we'll go into it. So it's interesting you said the hard part.
The hard
politics.
Right.
Easy.
Politics in America, I think you guys can see it seems to be very polarized at this point. At least it seems that way from what media shows us and the things we see online. How does politics affect you guys' generation, where you are in you guys' lives, and how do you view it?
Can I go on that? I speak for behalf of all Gen Z, or I don't.
This man out
I
here.
say like 60% or even more doesn't really know about full a good depth into politics. They don't really take it as important. I think my generation is trying to do what the last generation couldn't, and try to I guess not listen to the people on top of us. Maybe use our own thinking to how do I say this? Explain this, boss. We try to stray away and create our own thing. If that makes sense.
So you think that are you saying that your Gen Z, as you're saying, is just not okay with the operations that have been taking place, and they want to see something else?
Yeah, because in every generation something is corrupted, and it's like it's got to be a change for that. And it's like at this point in stage of our generation, we can't just think of that change just right away. We gotta unify. we got to put our minds together, and that goes back to the phones, putting it down, getting more connected with our consciousness and all that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I definitely hear you on what you're saying.
I would say too, as far as like with Gen Z and I would say our generation, right? A lot of the times they think we think surface level, and we think politics is just Trump, Biden, but politics is everything that we do, right? How we live, right? The taxes that we're paying, the areas that we live in, right? Why we're in those areas, why certain things are being built in these areas. So we look at politics as, it's very surface level, the way we look at it. And, we tend to forget, like, understanding politics is understanding, the world in a sense. It's understanding, where you live. If you're in America and you don't know politics, you're setting yourself at a disadvantage.
You're cooked.
So just being able to study, and like SK said, being able to put that phone down, being able to connect and understand that it's bigger than what you see on the news, is bigger than what you've seen, for the last few years, right? Starting with 2020. So, a lot of the times we forget that, and it goes back to, with social media, we get lost in that, and we think that it's just that we see on the media, or it's just that, without actually talking to people that are in it, that understand this as well, and actually learning. Yeah. So, with us disconnecting, we'll actually be able to tap back into understanding that politics is bigger than the presidents that we have. So,
For sure.
Very true. Very true. Mr. Foday, how do you feel about that?
Definitely heavy when you said politics is bigger than this, like what's even going on right now. Go throughout history has been straight politics. Slavery, politics. It was one thing I had in my head. So boom, we say politics, right? So people may think of it, even right now, I feel like, it's just two sides of different evils. So people in my generation, like, yo, both of them trash. I'm not even going to vote, off the rip. So I'm like, and I won't even go dive deep into it to see what both sides have to push together. Because, that's already how I'm programmed myself, and how I feel like everything has already been programmed. And even with politics and social media, like politics influences social media a lot too. Like if they throw in distractions or whatever, if you go deeper into it, you focus on this love scandal, and they passing laws that, could affect you and your whole family and people that probably live in your whole city too, or even for the whole country. And you're not even focused on these laws. You trying to know what this person had to say, what Cat Williams had to say. Shout out Cat Williams. What, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot
about the wrong things.
Yeah, you worry about the wrong things.
Wow. So, one thing I think I hear all of you saying is that there's a complete lack of knowledge, not only how the politics operates and the importance it has, but there's not even a real place you can go to get accurate knowledge of what's going on. Because I think you made a good point. Like, even if you watch the news, they don't really talk too much about what laws are being passed or what is included in those laws that you can do. And I think that's absolutely true.
They hide so much stuff. It's crazy.
This is why also you have to be very active in who you listen to and who you consume knowledge from on the internet. But like I said, this will also go back into understanding yourself, right? Understanding who you are, because if you're somebody that's lost and then you're on social media, of course you're going to just be scrolling. Of course you're just going to be looking at what everybody else is looking at. I ain't gonna lie, if as a person, if you know the latest TikTok dances and you're depressed, then that says a lot about who you are as a person.
Really?
So you know the latest dances, and you know the latest trends, right? You know what other people on social media are doing, then you're lost. You don't know who you are. And that in itself says a lot about a person. So you have to we have to really tap into understanding not only politics, but everything we discussed today. You have to understand yourself. So, you can't operate in a world without knowledge of self.
Wow. You guys keep coming back around to certain topics.
When you think about it, people usually lose their way for money or something like that, materialistic thing.
I would say most people nowadays don't even lose their way because of the money. They lose their way because they're still trying to live in this false, in this fallacy, this false world.
And that has worked for so many people before, so that's why it's
wild.
So do you guys think that the things you were saying of living in a false world, more the projection and the image, less the actual actions and experience, do you guys feel like that has a big part to play in how politics are perceived as well?
Oh yeah, definitely.
You gotta look at it. First of all, history is always rewritten, and politics and I guess the parties we have right now, they were never meant to be this powerful. First of all, the people should have all the power. So when they split it to Democratic, Republic, there's also supposed to be independent parties that should be as big as these parties. But throughout the greediness of humanity, one person or party can gain fundings from you never know where that goes deeper into companies. You trace back histories. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of different conspiracies under those. But yada yada yada. This person has more money. Oh look, what's even crazy? Most of them probably even work together. What's to say these wars and stuff happening right now is not secret meetings that we don't know about in the back? That's, you feel me? It's just like I said, distractions, politics. Politics always happen. What's the real? It's just two lesser evil. Trump, Obama, Hillary Clinton, Biden. What's the difference?
So that's a. No, please.
I was just going to say there's a bunch of wars going on right now that, of course, I won't get into too much detail on here because I want you to keep the podcast up and running. But, we don't even question, like, why these continue to happen, because this is not the first time that these wars happen.
That's interesting.
Right? And we don't ever ask ourselves, like, okay, this is going on. Why are they pushing this so much? Right? And then they don't even, like, people are so tapped out of, like, the realm of themselves that they don't even question themselves, or they don't even question, like, okay, what else is happening while this is going on, right? We'll look at something that's happening in the Middle East and forget about what's happening right here where we are, right? Okay. How, kids might be coming up missing, or, people are losing their homes, or how, people from outside of the, that initial or that demographic of or area is being put into certain environments, right? We don't ever talk about these things because a lot of people are tapped out of it, right? A lot of people are just scrolling TikTok, and when they're scrolling TikTok, they're not even looking at content that's beneficial. Majority of the time, it's more entertainment, more forms of distraction. So, yeah, it goes. I get real deep, but I don't know how deep we can go.
No, I think that's really interesting because no, we can. I think we can definitely have an entire show on politics, but I think. One thing I wanted to point out was when I asked you guys about politics, two things you brought into it was money and social media. And I think it's extremely interesting because with your generation, you guys have a very strong opinion about social media, the impact that it has on you, and the fact that money definitely impacts the political game, at least from what you guys have observed and what you've seen. So with that being said, I'm going to ask, how active are you guys in local politics or national politics, if you're even active at all? And how much of an importance does that play on your life?
No comment.
I say for me, for local politics, that'll probably be more active.
Okay.
Like politics, I guess, in my area. Like, my other previous mentor, Louis Spears, he ran for mayor in Jersey City.
Shout out to Big Louis.
Shout out Louis Spears. So I know him personally. So, already what he does in the community and what he does for, kids, etc. Of course I would vote for him and tell other people to vote for him. Because, he has, evidence to back up whatever he's trying to bring towards the city and not just come to destroy, but actually build, spread knowledge. So, it's more of a connection than what I'm just seeing on the news channel with somebody like, Biden, for example, just talking, but, never having to actually met Biden or, see beyond what's been shown on TV. You feel me? Because you got to listen to news. Media is the same thing. These people control the media, not to be all scary and stuff, but, they all function under one company or whatever and just saying the same things repeatedly. And that in itself has an agenda if you really think about it. So how much do you really know these politicians for you to vote for them and they in control of your life? So are these politicians even in really control? What's to say they're not, puppets for whatever to push out more agendas? You feel me?
Yo,
really want to get deeper into that.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but what I got from your conversation was that you believe in him, or Louis Spears, the man himself. That's why you're able to push out his work to other people and stuff like that.
So I think he has a more of a deep rooted belief in him because he's seen him.
He's worked with him.
I know,
he's worked with him. It's a little bit easy.
If we go back to it, it's the belief he has in him, though. That's that.
Oh yeah, but I think we can. I mean, belief is an interesting word because there's one thing to know, and then there's a belief. They say belief is something in which you hold true that you haven't seen yet. Knowledge is something in which you've observed and understand completely.
Yeah, let me actually get away from that. I mean, believing is vision.
Okay,
That makes
I can definitely understand that, but I do understand what you're saying. Where when it comes to national elections for a president, we don't really take a look at their records and what they've done as a proof of qualifications for the job. And I think that's very interesting because
That's
I mean,
super important,
it can be a good thing and a bad thing, right? Whether it's a mayoral race or whether it's a presidential race, we don't usually sit and say what good have they done for society, what knowledge do they have of solving problems, because in the end, I mean, every person can make their argument. Hey, I'm brand new. I don't really have a lot of experience, so I can be molded and solve fresh ideas. Or, I've been running things for this long and I know how to run businesses and have knowledge of operations. This will help, right? So it's hard to kind of speak that balance. So I'm going to ask all of you guys, because it seems everyone has a different level of understanding when it comes to politics. What do you guys think that people can do to get a more clear vision of what's going on politically and how they can get more involved to make changes in their immediate community?
I have a question. Do you think the world can be connected?
What do you mean?
Like the whole entire world, we show our goods, our bads, and we judge, be non-judged for it. Like, do you think it's possible?
Are you asking if we can have universal peace?
Yes.
I'm a big fan. I believe anything is possible with the right motive behind it and the right people guiding it.
Imagination.
Right now, my personal belief is that we as human beings are guided very strongly by one of two emotions, either our fears or our desires. Depending on which one you sit on will dictate your decisions and how you maneuver through your life. So if I have a desire to be at a sense of peace and to build a sense of community, I'm going to be open to talking to you. I'm going to be open to understanding you. I'm going to have patience. And I'm going to be willing to do the work to create that reality. And I'm okay with getting it wrong and starting again. But if I fear pain, mistakes, hard work, my neighbor, then I'm going to go in isolation. And that's going to lead me down a path where I'm not going to be so open to the family and I am here for my brother, my brother's keeper mentality that I won't have. And I think to attain peace on a universal level, we have to ask ourselves, how are we moving forward through our lives? Are we acting out in desire of something peaceful, or are we acting out in fear of preventing something bad from happening? So I think, can we get universal peace? Yes, but I think it has to be because we have such strong ties to fear in our society. I think that's where our polarization really leads. Mm-hmm. I think that is going to be the key to getting peace, because those that currently have are fearful of losing it, and those that currently have not are hopeful of achieving it. So when you have those two sides of the coins kind of running our society, you have to be able to empathize with both and get everyone to understand, like, just because I have, that isn't dictated on you having not. We have enough on this earth for everyone, and we can operate in a place of peace. So if we can find a way to do that, I think we can.
I definitely believe in your vision. If you believe you can achieve it. But
did this man whoa, on my own show. But go ahead. He was like, yeah, that's all hopes and dreams. Reverse.
But for the future aliens and for the future people that might be watching us, give us an estimate. How long do you think the world would take to unite?
I don't know. To be honest with you, will it happen in my lifetime? Something miraculous would have to happen. Something on a grand scale would have to take place to actually move that forward. And I don't even necessarily think it has to be bad. I think it just has to happen on a grand enough scale to show that it's possible. Wow. Because either you're going to have something detrimental happen where it's going to threaten life on all of us on Earth, and we have to work together to show, oh, maybe we should work together and we'll have peace, and maybe that'll last a while. Or you're going to have something so great happen that people also go, oh, wow, I didn't think we could have a peaceful society, but this plan, this idea, these actions are showing me differently. That's where it is, because I believe we only fear what we don't know. And the minute you can open people up to interactions, to experiences, to opening up that we're humans and we live differently, look differently, dress differently, but we can have similar values.
Son.
then you have a place. Because I want to be very honest with you. 9 out of 10 people in this world are looking to have a place to live, have a job to support their family, and peace within their homes.
Yeah.
And have some good experiences in life and a safe neighborhood. I think those are the basic things that people are looking for. But for some reason, we don't necessarily think we can all have that. So when we realize that's all of us want, I think we can get to a place of understanding each other a little bit better.
I think we'll eventually get there, but it's gonna happen, right? Because we're literally going through that
Age of Aquarius.
Yeah, like not only Age of Aquarius, but we're going through a time right now where everything is shifting, right? The energy is shifting.
I agree. Economies,
like mindset, yeah, exactly. Economies are shifting, and I think people are starting to realize the traps that they are actually in. And I know specifically in America, right? Because I can't speak for every other country because I haven't traveled out to every other country, right? But I know specifically for America, people here are starting to realize like the very trap that we are all in, right? Like the systems that we're in, right? How we're paying certain things that we're paying that we really don't need to be paying, right? How people are literally getting kicked out of their homes, and people are starting to understand this, right? How they're trying to cut off currencies and how they're trying to disconnect everybody and control everything that we do, right? Everything that we see, right? The money that we bring in through the work, and people are starting to wake up, right? And I think the only people that have really struggled with actually understanding that this is happening is, once again, the people that are tapped into the phones that aren't tapped in to what's going on in the outer world. And what's going to eventually happen, right, for us to get what I think is going to happen for us to actually finally get to that point where we can have world peace and world unity, there's going to be a war. There will definitely be a war.
I was just thinking that. I was literally going to say that.
Well, that's interesting.
I'm like,
Why do you
it has
think
to be
there
a war
has to
between
be-
good and evil.
Why
or
do you think
something.
there has to be when you say war?
I don't
what
necessarily
exactly do you mean?
I don't necessarily mean like a So when I'm saying war, I don't necessarily mean a war of let me
Physical.
get guns and bombs
Could
and all
be
of this.
spiritual.
I'm thinking more of a spiritual war, and in a sense, it might even be quiet. Like we might not even realize it's happening until.
I mean,
like,
we
you
in
see
it right now. We in the war right now.
We're in it in a sense now. I would say this is like a part of it, right? This is the start of it, but I'm thinking more of something more quiet that'll take place. We might actually see a physical iteration of it happen, but I doubt it. I think it's going to be more of like a spiritual and mental war. And before that main war happens, I think what's going to happen is going to be a civil war between, families of people that are actually waking up, and then families that are still struggling to try to find out who they are. I think that's definitely going to happen too.
So more so a war of the minds.
War of the minds, exactly.
Wow, y'all are.
I
all
think
out here
I think that's what's really going to happen. And once we get to that point, we're going to see a point in time where the people that aren't fully tapped in or that haven't done the work, that haven't taken the time to really understand not only their world or their consciousness, but the outer world, they will naturally just start to fall off. And in a sense, I wouldn't necessarily say die, right? Because a lot of people are already dead now, even though they're living. But they would definitely. It would definitely be like, okay, they will fall off in a sense. I'll say that. They'll fall off. They'll naturally disappear.
Wow, that is
Abracadabra.
abracadabra. That's an intense
monetization.
That's an intense. I think that's an extremely intense view and a direction for us to go in, especially when we started out on politics, and it really moved us into a sense of operation of country, into beliefs and where we're going. So it shows you guys have a very broad view of the connectedness of all of this. And I like to see that, because no topic has stayed independently on its own. It dives into, they carry over, kind of spill over into the next each time. And with that being said, we're going to go into that last topic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's good.
You guys know the last pillar of power is finance.
Wow.
Money, very important thing. You guys have mentioned it throughout every single section this time. With finances being pretty much a necessity in our life, and financial literacy being a necessity in our lives, where do you feel that the financial industry and financial literacy sit when it comes to your experiences in life, and what experiences have you guys currently had, if any?
I say for me, right? Because I've definitely been, and I'm still experiencing, of course, both sides of the spectrum, right? Having a bunch of money, seeing a bunch of money, holding a bunch of money, but also being in areas and times where I had nothing, right? Having zero in the account, or not even just having zero in the account, but having zero knowledge of actually knowing how to manage the money or how to build credit, right? Most of these things I had to learn on my own, and sometimes I have somebody in the physical, somebody I know like in the flesh to help me out, but most of the time I've learned it from, gone looping it right back to social media, right? I've had people from social media teach me how to actually, okay, this is what you do with credit. Oh, if you want to build your credit, right? Or not necessarily having to be right, not necessarily having to pay this back right away. You can actually leave it there, right? As long as it's below 30% or whatever it is now, right? I don't know if it's different for everybody, I think, but yeah, just having having certain areas where I can go to actually learn finance, right? It wasn't always there for me. And I think having people that are knowledgeable in that is very important, especially when you're trying to operate in what we call the matrix, right? Because money in a sense, right? Money in a sense is a tool, right? Money in a sense is a tool, and we tend to chase this thing, not realizing that, and this is why a lot of people are unhappy as well. So I can go into a whole bunch of topics. I don't want to just go on. I'll let the other guys talk.
Please, no, I appreciate you for sharing, man. Mr. SK the Ghost. Please tell about your experiences.
My experience with what exactly?
We're talking about finances and with financial literacy. What of yours has been your experience, and how do you feel about its weight currently on your generation?
Personally, how I feel about financial literacy,
or just finances in general in our current times.
Yeah, I learned pretty much everything online. My financial literacy stuff online, social media, like you said, and online. So that's why I take pride in the knowledge I gain, and I also like to share it to hear what I've done wrong with it and what I can do to improve it. So it's basically just a learning process, to be honest. If you can't get the information from the next man, there's so much information out here.
Okay. So you kind of believe like you have to be, with financial literacy and understanding money and even making money, you have to really put that the weight of learning about it and getting active on your own shoulders.
Sometimes it's like a needle in a haystack, because there's so many people that want to monetize and give you the wrong information. So you just have to, like I said, know yourself.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. Mr. Foday himself. Talk to me, my guy.
You taking the
current state of the financial industry, financial literacy, and your experiences.
You said the current state of the financial industry?
Like how do you your experiences with the financial industry and finances and financial literacy? Like what have your experiences been? What is your outlook on it?
I say my experiences with financial literacy. Well, I learned it in high school, but it wasn't really learn it. It was more just write down definitions from a textbook, not actually, I guess, in-game experience, credits. We don't really learn about that until after we graduate high school, and then somebody brings it up. And I'm like, oh, credit. Oh, what's that? If you didn't have that background to actually teach you, or that thirst for the knowledge during that time. So me with financial literacy or getting money, it's just literally, I guess I've always had that saving mentality and hustling. So if I ever wanted something, I would go out to work to get it, But nowadays, that a stable income is really needed rather than, that quick money, because the world we live in right now is really money driven, money ran. So that's why I guess a lot of people work 9 to 5s to get these stable incomes to really, provide for their families, to fund their crafts or do whatever else they want to do, or even be comfortable. So I say with me, it's been kind of hard because also being a student, and I feel like, I don't know, me and 9 to 5s, like back then when I was in high school, I feel like I had more space for that. and I was learning for that. But like nowadays, I feel like I spread myself thin. I could still get a job 9 to 5, but I don't know how I'll take it in right now. So yeah, how it really would affect me? Maybe positive, maybe negative. I doubt that because each lesson is a lesson. It's really all perception. Right. But my experience, or even financial literacy right now, financially in the economy, what's crazy? Like the people that have the most money, they don't want you to know how to make that much money. A lot of them, majority. I find that crazy.
So I mean that's interesting. You like you're saying, the people with the most money don't want you to understand how they got there, to give you the blueprint. And then SK's point is, he says there's so much information out there. Do you feel like the current state with such things as AI and social media that is become easier to gain financial knowledge on financial industries and financial literacy, or do you feel like it's harder?
I feel like it's definitely gotten more easier and lenient, but it all refers back to the type of person you are. Are you thirsty for that knowledge? How bad do you really want it? Or are you comfortable with the amount of money you have? And because that's how you've programmed yourself, or, based on everything around you, your environment, you've grown comfortable to have this amount of money. Maybe a two, let's go, boom, 3,000 could be a lot of money to one person. But, you still have these billionaires that if you worked your entire life, you still wouldn't even come close as half or half and a half their money. So it's difference in levels of money. And you got to really think about what's the mindset of each person. You feel me? Like the mindset difference between, that amount. If you really think about it.
Jeez. That's real. That's real.
I don't see how you could be a billionaire and not give back. That's just weird to me, to be honest.
Billionaire and not give back. I mean, that's an interesting point of view, right? Because you're saying the perception of money is hugely important. I mean, that's something I think I can definitely attest to, because when I was younger, I had the perception that $100,000 was a lot of money. I mean, I grew up. I didn't. Yeah. I know, but honestly, yeah. Like when I was younger, I thought $100,000 was the end all be all. And I still know a lot of adults that their goal is, I'm trying to make $100K this year. I'm trying to make $100K. It's a number you choose, and then you get it, and you kind of realize like this is not really a lot of money. Like I'm comfortable. I can go out to eat at a restaurant. It doesn't matter what I order. If I need something for myself, I'm good. And I think we tend to look at wealth more as a feeling than more as a number, because when you, at least from my standpoint, when you get to a certain place, like money is a tool, and what you can do with it is based upon how much you have. So if I'm deciding what to do, and this is the best explanation I got from one of my friends in college. He came from a very wealthy family. They were very well off. He didn't have to worry about money. And I said, hey man, I know you guys are very well off. What have you seen as a difference in your experience in life and then mine? And he said, the difference between my life of being wealthy and someone that's not is that when I think about what I'm having for dinner, I have way more options. So I'm either going to go to a steakhouse and get a steak for $100,000 with not 100,000. That's a crazy steak. Time out. He wasn't balling like that. I don't even know where 100,000 steak is. He was like
a round table steak, if you know what I'm talking about.
So he was like, I'm either gonna go to a steakhouse and eat $100 steak with sides and spend $200 on dinner like that for maybe me and someone else, or I'm gonna order Chinese food for $10. He goes, so the difference is I'm going to enjoy either of them the same way I would enjoy them as you would. But the option, for me, I now have the option of the other thing. So it goes back into money as a tool gives you more options, and a sense of security.
So we can also say that it helps. I guess now in the world we live in, it's like a tool, or what people may use for freedom. It also could be a jail as well, a trap, because like we said, money first of all is a perception. Before, back then, they used to trade. And, throughout the experience of trade, I come from a family of merchants. You gain experience. You gave, resources, you know what I'm saying? So it was gold, copper, whatever,
relationships.
Exactly, relationships, history, etc. So when we go back now into, money, the paper money, you give me this amount of your time for this amount of money. It's really, illusions. You feel me? Getting jutsus, if you know what I'm saying.
So do you feel like the money system we have now takes away from the nuance of living? Are you saying it kind of desensitizes us to the actual value of the exchange?
So I'm saying, like, back then, like, yes, because if I don't have enough money, like, but you know, what's the difference between me and a rich kid? A rich kid may have a lot of money or may not have to worry about money, so they could go do skydiving, you know, roller coaster rides, go to any park or travel. So you see, it's a difference in experiences and what they get to do and what are they exposing, rather than me or people in urban communities who don't have that much money. So now they have to, you know, use a lot of their years in their life to, you know, be on the block or whatever, try to play sports or rap to make music to be able to provide for their family. So they're given a format right off the bat. And you feel me? That goes back into the system and the repetitive patterns that was already built into it.
So you made a super interesting statement that I have to point out. You said you just let a lot out.
Environment.
And like you said, the environment of whether to spend their time outside, making some money, they're doing music or playing sports as a means. Whereas you said someone that may come from a wealthier background has the knowledge already written for them on how to succeed financially. I'm going to bring it back to social media, to AI. Do you feel, especially with the financial industry and the vast amount of knowledge we have out there, that it's easier or more difficult to become financially comfortable now than what we used to have?
I mean, you gotta look at it. We already most of us are already deep into the program that's already been taking place or planned since, you know, the beginning of time. So that's like, you know, with the instance with the fleas, you put the fleas in the jars, the kids raised up, they're scared to leap over because they were born in that jar, knowing they have the capabilities to jump over the jar. So, you know, if we lost the ability to see, or we think we lost the ability to see or whatever, we become blinded. Well, we feel like we become blinded or focused on this. If somebody was holding $1 million over there in front of me, but I'm still focused on this glass water, and look how the water is so clear and the table feels so smooth. I'm not thinking about the $1 million that's right in front of me.
Wow.
And I could be staring at this glass water till, you know, it dries up and evaporates and $1 million already disappeared. Oh, it's still there, but now I'm looking at the darkness, or now I'm looking at the empty glass bottle.
So if I get what you're saying, it boils down. I mean, please, you could take it if you want. I had a question, but go ahead.
So all I was gonna say is that literally goes into like how everything is systematically designed for certain. And I'm not gonna make this black and white, right? But it's definitely we definitely live in a system where it's systematically designed for a people to fail. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to make this left or right. I'm not going to bring in politics. But if you teach, right, a people, right, for a certain amount of time of how to do a certain thing, right, how to make a living for themselves or how to live, right, they'll start to do that thing. And then that thing, whether it be negative or positive, will affect the generations that come after. So if you continuously teach a group of people how they should live, right? You put a lifestyle in front of them, right? Most of the time it's a false lifestyle. It's a exaggerated lifestyle, right? With most of the time you see rappers with like the biggest chains, right? They pushing these cars and these extravagant lifestyles to a people that already don't got much, right? That had everything stripped from them, their own resources, their own land stripped from them.
Yeah.
You put that in front of them now, they're striving to be something that's less than who they actually are at their core.
Okay.
And, they, most of the time, going back to knowledge of self, these people, they don't have knowledge of self because it was stripped. A lot of the times that knowledge was stripped from them. Those resources were stripped from them. And, them not knowing this actually is part of the reason why they have the certain thoughts on certain things that they, might see or that they might go through. So
go ahead.
When you think about it, like most of the rappers you see that trying to change their ways or like change the way they handle money and see things in this perspective, Like for instance, like Lil Baby, he likes to take care of his money. He likes to basically use a bigger mindset towards it. Like most rappers that think different like that, they kind of end up falling off. Like if you know Polo G, if you know Lil Baby, other people like that, I just noticed that in the industry. It's just weird. Is that a way of blackballing?
So I got a question.
I don't know these rappers personally, but I would say a lot of like the bigger names, right? We don't see what really goes on behind the scenes, and a lot of the times these rappers are pushed. The reason why a lot of these rappers are pushed out is because they know that these rappers have pull within the communities. So if I'm pushing Lil Baby, right, and he's flexing all of these cars, he's flexing money, he's flexing jewelry. What am I pushing to the people that's watching, right? The kids that are watching that might not have much. I'm pushing this false lifestyle or this exaggerated lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying that he doesn't have the millions that he does have or the billions, whatever he's made over the course of his career. I'm not saying that he don't have it, but what I am saying is question everything. Because a lot of the times we'll look at these rappers thinking that they have millions, if not billions of dollars, not realizing that they're literally put there to push this lifestyle to us.
So you guys mentioned the experience of your upbringing and what you're taught. You mentioned the examples that are put out in media that you have. You mentioned access to information when it comes to financial literacy. Do you feel like with the amount of information that's out there that we have now, because it sounds like to me, are you guys saying that the mentality of the lack of financial literacy that may be had in these environments is down to behaviors and cultural decisions? Or do you think it's something more or less in the lines, can it be changed, so to speak? If it is a cultural thing, can it be changed? Are our musical artists responsible for the things that they're teaching in their cultures? Are families responsible for the financial information that you could be provided? Because you're all making very good points. Like we learn from our environments, from our parents, our friends, our community, and the media that we absorb. So, I mean, can this stuff be changed if we have so much that's not doing? I know Earn Your Leisure is big on teaching financial literacy with things like that. Is that something that you guys feel can be changed?
Definitely. I feel like in every situation, every era, somebody went out of the norm. And that person was the leader that caused a revolution or actually changed something. And it goes back to industry. Industry has their own way of doing things, but it's that one filmmaker, that one rapper that did something so different that changed the whole sound. You know what I mean? So
what you're saying is to really see a change, we need someone to do it. We need an example. We need to see that it's been done to know that door can open.
That's
true. It has already been done. Like there's a lot of successful Black people, Latino, whatever, if we talk about becoming financially free. But if a culture or as a people need is change accessible, I guess it got to start one by one. You yourself, try to help your family helps their family. So more like spreading, actually, building and moving in unity. A lot of these successful ethnic groups or whatever, groups of people, they may start by themselves, or maybe they may not start by themselves and start with a group of people and just build up on each other. That separation is what's, been heard in a lot of communities rather than building with people around you to, and having a goal or level of achievement that you want to achieve and, not limiting yourself based on your environment or what you conceive.
So, I mean, that kind of leads me to the last question of this episode, which is what do you think we need to do, or what would you like to see to make those changes in the way we view finances and the direction we're going in?
I would say first things first, to touch on that and to touch on what he finished up on, is we first have to be the change that we want to see. Number one, individually and culturally, right? Or ethnically, whatever you want to.
Stole the words right out of my mouth.
Right. We definitely have to be the change, but the main thing that I would say we have to focus on doing, or we have to focus on stop of us stopping indulging in these habits. And it would definitely be buying things that we don't need, right?
Okay.
Buying things that are not benefiting the people, right? We flex, or we get a bunch of things shown to us, right? You go to Times Square, you see it on the billboards, right? LV, Balenciaga. We buying all of these different designers, and we're buying, hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of these things, right? We're buying into businesses, into corporations that don't care about us, right? These makeup companies. People really think that Rihanna, like, no disrespect to Rihanna and, ASAP, whatever, but they really think that these people care about us, right? We buy these makeups and we buy these things that aren't even really theirs. They just a face of it, right? And we don't even realize that. We don't do research to not only like the energy that goes into it, but even the stuff that's actually put in these products, right? But I don't want to go too off topic, but we need to stop purchasing and buying things that are not benefiting us, right? We go to these salons, we go to these nail spas and all of these things that are not benefiting the community, right? And we put big money into this. Like I've seen girls spend hundreds of dollars on their hair, and most of the time it's not even their natural hair.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, and not only that, but just buying these bags, right? We buy bags and we buy these shoes and we buy everything that it's not benefiting us. It's only harming us. Of course, as time goes on, it's going to continue to hurt us. And then we in inflation, right? The economy is a little shit right now, right? And the fact that we're still indulging in things that are supposed to make it, quote unquote, supposed to make us happy is crazy. Instead of us actually coming together and finding ways we can actually build our money, we can grow our money, right? One thing that I notice a lot of the times that happens in the community, or one thing that's talked about in the community, is we talk about reparations, right? Why do we have to wait for somebody to give us reparations? Why not us make the reparations, right? We take the money that we already have, the money that we've been putting into these salons and putting into these businesses that aren't Black owned or aren't for the community, right? And actually build something, right? We don't even think like that because we're so distracted with trying to live and trying to do things for people that don't care about us, right? So we do these things, and it takes away from us actually building. It takes away from us actually growing and healing and doing all of these other things that are needed for us to actually succeed in this world that in this construct that we call the Matrix, in this system that we call the Matrix. So that's what I would like to see. I would like to see us taking a pause on actually consuming and things that weren't even designed for us. So
honestly, I think we all need like a public holiday to just put it on our phones or something like that.
A what?
A public holiday where we all just put down our devices. That's probably the most useful holiday to me, to be honest.
Public holiday of no phones.
Of nothing, just straight unification and yeah.
Okay.
Connection.
I like it.
Possible.
Hey, if you can imagine it, it can happen.
I'll say nothing is.
So, Mr. Foday, like,
you can see
back
me
to
in mind, you can hold it in your hands, right?
the question, pause. The question, financially, what would you like to see to help the financial state that we're currently in?
I mean, yeah,
Or help you personally?
It's like what AJ was just saying, shift from consumer mindset to more producing. And I say, like, I would, like what he said, it starts individually. So I would like to see a lot more people researching. Me, myself, you feel me? I say it, but I still haven't dived deep into, researching. This whole world that we're designed in, there's a lot of things going on at the same time. So a lot of different chapters, open tabs or options. Even if money isn't the issue, and we're given that the easy way out, or maybe not the easy way out. Go get a job, go do this, rather than sit down to research and understand money. So when you go out to make it, you know how to really use it, spend it, and increase it. Or why does it deserve to be in your possession?
That kind of goes back into the think before you act, or you just act before you think. I think a lot of people do both ways.
Yeah, they act off of impulse. and they don't actually think about what they're paying, or what they're paying for, what they're buying into. A lot of the times we're funding these other communities, right? These are communities that don't do anything for us, right? These are the same communities, or these are the same entities that we buy into, and then they come over and kick us out of our own living quarters, and we don't even question that. We buy it because it make us feel good in the moment, right? We buy that LV bag because we seen a rapper have it, or we buy the Balenciaga shoes because we seen a YouTuber have it, or we seen somebody that's super successful have a specific item, right? We don't question it. We don't question like, why do I want this item, or what is this really doing for me? What is this doing for my family? And these are people I see people that their parents are struggling, right? And they're out here buying designer, right? You're buying designer, and you're buying all of these items, these bags, these sneakers, hair, nails, right? These things cost money too, right? You're paying for all of these things, and then your parents is at home struggling. Your moms can't pay bills, or your pops is he's going through whatever he's going through, and we don't even think about it like that. We're in a sense selfish. Yeah. And we buy these things not realizing like the money that we would have if we just said, okay, I'm not buying this today, or I'm not buying this ever again. Yeah. Right? We create our own system, we create our own brands, right? What happened to being creative and actually creating our own brands and our own things to wear? You know what I'm saying? And we've tapped out of that creative, that creative side. And once again, it goes back to everything else that we've talked about, right? And not being one with yourself, right? Not connecting with you, and being lost in this construct that we call the Matrix. So,
I think you made a good point, and I think I definitely want to end it on that everything we talked about here, especially from you guys' point of view, has a lot of connectivity. Being able to understand who you are, what you stand for, why you stand for it, and why you agree with it kind of seems the basis of what you guys are coming through, and not just kind of following what the norm is, which shows me you guys are a very rebellious group with the system, but also you guys understand that you're in the system, and how it has affected you guys in your life. So, man, I mean, I greatly appreciate everything you guys have said tonight, everything you want to share. Sure, Mr. AJ, what would you like to add? Are you about to plug your channel?
No, I'm not plugging.
Because I'm going to give you time for that.
No. That's not important. The channel will plug itself.
Because we have to end the show. We're running long here.
Oh, I just wanted to say respect and shout out to Frederick Douglass. Knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave. Right? Without knowledge,
the man himself, man. AJxBeast.
Very true. Very true. Knowledge is key.
Indeed.
And as you guys pointed out, there's more knowledge and more ways of receiving it than ever. So the time you spend on what you're doing is going to dictate the outcomes of where you go in your life. So, gentlemen, I want to appreciate you guys for coming on the show. I think it was fire. We'll definitely have some more discussions and some more topics. But thank you for being the first guest at the round table. I'm going to give each of you guys 10 seconds to plug where people can find you and see what you're doing. AJ, you can go first. Your camera's over there, letting people know where they can find you and what you got going on.
That's not a square table, but I'm joking. But all right, so what's up, guys? So my name's AJ. You call me Aubrey, whatever, right? AJxBeast. YouTube, Instagram. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I also have a production company or a production page, Fear the Beast Productions. You'll find that as well. All right.
SK, your camera's over there. Tell them what you got going on, where they can find you.
Charlamagne the God, you already know. Nah.
Copyrighted.
You can find me on YouTube at Timmy Tainer. Also, TRBWG. It has a meaning to it. Also, on Instagram, you can find me at shah.nov, SHAH.nov. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Mr. Day, tell people what you got going on.
Hello, this is Foday Karoma. And my YouTube, you can find me at FoMonster. That's FOMONSTER. And I'm currently off Instagram, but once I get back, you can just follow me at FO.monster. FO period, like .com, MONSTER. And for my music platforms, you can follow me at $IR Monster. So Sir Monster. So I mean, Monster to the Matrix.
Cool. So I appreciate you guys coming on. Excuse me. So if you guys enjoyed what you heard today, you liked the show, we're always going to ask you to like, follow, and subscribe. Hit the bell if you want the notifications. We're going to be having more conversations with Like This. And as always, I'm going to try to put their connections to all the social media and the things they got going on in the description below. So as always, we appreciate the time that you share with us. Nothing but peace and love. And we'll see you next time, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
Do it with the two fingers together. There we go.
Everybody's everywhere. Everybody's everywhere.
Peace.